Well, go on, family tree. Welcome to Movement Decoded. Your boy is back after a little bit of a hiatus. I'm sorry about that. I've missed a week of an upload, but we're back. We're back. Life is lifing. The breath is breathing, and both feet are back on the ground. Today we're going to be working on the GUMBI. This move, and this one I'm super excited about because if you've practiced with me or if you've seen the stuff that I like to share on social media and things, you'll see that this is a move that is in my repertoire to some degree. However, I consider it personally as I just borrow it from time to time. I've never really owned it, which is really annoying because some days it works, some days it shows up for me, some days it doesn't. Recently, I had just an epiphany while I was training and something clicked. And it's finally makes sense in my body where I'm not like hoping it will show up one day and then or some days it just doesn't show up and I have to work for it for a little bit. And I've had an absolute nightmare with this move. But yeah, I'm so excited to share this one in particular because I think it's something that's not uncommon with people who are trying to figure out the very like awkwardness of doing acrobatics in the back bend range. Yeah, we'll go through some exercises, some warm-ups and some preps to see how it goes. So I'm going to do this as a little bit of like a program into working on it. Feel free to skip this part. We're going to go through a warm-up, an activation, an opening around the area of the body that really needs to be fired up to just help leverage the move itself. But if you're warm, if you've been training, you just want to like give it a go, just skip to the next time code. But for now, let's get into the warm-up a little bit. From here, we're going to be in sort of a puppy pose shape. So the hips are somewhat above the knees, hands forwards, a bit wider than shoulder width distance, opening through the chest. I like to call these kind of like the mermaid pop-ups from here. Opening through the chest, gazing forwards. I keep my chin sliding along the floor, coming all the way down. Then it's like I'm bringing my head dramatically out of the surface of the water. Tuck the chin, round through the back, and we start again. I'm just going to do 5 of these. You can do as many as you want to. There's a nice little way to open up into the back bend here, which is quite important. Tucking the chin, round up through, and we start again. I'm not sure how many I've done. I think that's 4. I'll do one more. Go. One more here. Some negative cobras. So this time, instead of the hands doing the work, I want my back to engage a little bit more. So I want to slowly try to let my hands get lighter and lighter. And I'm letting my body come down to the point where I can actually lift the hands, extend the arms, and release down. And we start again. I'll do 3 of these all together. Lifting up, you can do as many as you want. So I'm trying to alleviate as much pressure through the hands to own it into the body. Once I hold, extend, release. And one more there. From passive range, slowly coming down to active range, to extension. Again, do as many as you want. Next one, we'll target a bit more on the strength of the shoulder flexion, the ability to bring the arms back. This is a back bend move, so we want to increase the angle from body to upper arm, working on that. So building strength here, we'll do our single arm shoulder flexion lift off. So we're going to be in child's pose position, hips towards the heels, don't mind if the toes tucked or not, doesn't really matter. Going to have the thumbs hitchhiked up towards the sky and try to send your knuckles as far away from your head as possible. So you're really shrugging the shoulders towards the ears. Keeping the body neutral without tilting from one side to the other. Trying to lift up one thumb, lengthen, and lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, other side, lengthen and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I like to do about 3 to 5 of these as well. Things to note, try not to compensate by doing this. Try not to compensate by doing this or this. I'm exaggerating all of them, but try to be particular with that. You really want to stay in line as best as you can. Even if the hand doesn't lift, even if you're trying to lift, if I was trying to lift up this arm and it looks like this, perfect, perfect, perfect. That's okay. But really trying to extend. I don't even know if you can hear me. Here, extend, release. 5 seconds count. Lengthen and lift. 3, 2, 1. Last thing we're going to do, we're going to probably need a back of a door, a wall space, depending. Just be creative with your environment. We're going to be over into the wall. So for the last part of our activation and our warm-up, we're going to actually target the area that's a bit more in the perspective that we're working in, which is the handstand. So I'm going to kick up into the wall. I'm about a foot away from the wall with my hands, pushing up. The details here, really important one first is tucking the chin. After the chin tuck, how close can you get your bum towards the wall? It doesn't have to touch. And then push back up. Oh God. Tuck the chin, bum towards the wall, and push back up. I advise you to tuck your t-shirt in before you do this drill. Bum to the wall, and push back up. So, hopefully so that if anything, the t-shirt probably helped, or coming down helped highlight the area of the body that was opening up, the chest opening and the shoulders opening there. Flipping out, bear with me 1 second. All right, now we've patterned all of that. Let's get into the meat and bones of it. I hope if you're on this video, you already have somewhat of a handstand, somewhat of a contingency of falling out of handstand, and a cartwheel. So this step here, just want to highlight the cartwheel and a slight variation that's going to help. Traditional cartwheel, a bit more extended through what can be common, whether it comes for spotting or whether you've been taught it, is the gaze on the ground, spotting the cartwheel balance. But that's really, really going to inhibit the variation of the GUMBI, coluna. So suggest practicing a few rounds of a cartwheel with from my side, I'm going to demonstrate with a disconcerting amount of gaze, connection of the eyes to the camera. Chin tucked. So we want to play with this variation. If anything, the upper arm coming nice and close towards the air. You want to be able to get this to the point where you don't have to spot the ground and then tuck, but see if you can do it just by keeping the spot. And that variation will serve you well. Now let's get into the pièce de résistance of the whole move. This t-shirt's really going to bug me today. The falling handstand is literally the makeup of a lot of these GUMBI twists, these GUMBI variations. So right now, this is what I'm really excited about, to be fair. This is the thing that made everything click for me, with it not being a move that I just rent from Blockbuster from time to time, hoping it shows up. But now it's pretty much 98% of the time consistent in my practice because of this drill right here. The falling, rolling handstand. So from here, the variation that's super important with the handstand is the chin tuck. We don't have to be able to hold that shape though. It's actually going to help us with a little bit of a timber. So the movement itself is this. Wow, I lost balance there, but that's the movement. We're kind of falling out a little bit. There. If I'm twisting to the left, my left foot's landing down first. So I go over, I twist to the left, left foot catches. If I go over and twist to the right, tuck the chin, full twist, land. Trying to let the twist happen within reason as late as possible. However, it can be a scary move. This might be a bit of a roadblock now in terms of feeling safe with this. with this feeling. So it's just important to practice it, maybe on grass, maybe on soft gymnastic floor, things like that, if you have the opportunity to practice in such a way. I'll demonstrate from a few angles. So we'll play the variation of the hands for now. For now, hands about shoulder width distance, if anything, a bit narrower. So as I kick up, I'm going to twist to the right. Landing in this. For clarity, let's try to land in the lunge, like so. So I'm twisting to the left. In this demonstration, I'm going to try and land in this position on the left leg. Oh, didn't timber enough. Let me go again. Whoa. What can help here is I think of my head and my foot like a pendulum. If you're disconnected from the foot to the head and being a bit slack in the hip, you might come crashing down into it. If the head stays heavy, it gets a bit clumsy. As soon as I've landed on that planted foot, I'm using the back leg to help lift my head up. I'm trying to keep those 2 points connected. Let me do side on. So as I land on the leg, it helps lift the head up. Twisting to the left leg lands, right leg pulls the head up. I'm really exaggerating that motion there. I twist to the right side, pulls up. That is pretty much the foundation of the GUMBI. Really weird. So I've watched so many tutorials of this move. It's something that's plagued me for years. I achieved it, caught it on camera years ago, but I've never quite owned it. It's never quite felt right. It just shows up. I've watched so many tutorials, and frankly, most of them suck. Overcomplicate so much of it, really. This is like 90% of the GUMBI itself, and it also alleviates any other nonsense with variations, because we're focusing on the main piece of it, which is feeling safe with the chin tuck, the head, the arms for the shoulder flexion, the falling and rolling sensation. The rolling is what we really want to feel here. It's this rolling out of the shape. Super important. So, for the GUMBI variation, the simple variation, ipsilateral, or same side. So if my left leg is forwards, we're going to stay in the same anchor of lunge, left leg forwards, left hand plants. All I'm trying to do now that I've patterned up this entry, stripping it back, what you can do is actually enter the handstand in many different ways. So I'm just trying to find that handstand and roll out. Can find the handstand and roll out. This t-shirt is bugging me. It's too baggy. Find the handstand shape and roll out. Let it be as chaotic as you want it to be. From different entries, whatever, try to find the chin tuck falling sensation. Chin tuck, roll. And depending on the way you enter the handstand, it's probably going to force you into a certain direction. So go with it. I look for the handstand, tuck, roll. And it can be clumsy, it can be scrappy. Just finding like all these different avenues, really. So let's come back to maybe like the GUMBI now. And you might find that even in that exploration, you might have even started touching on the GUMBI realm, which is sick because you weren't even trying to do it. But here we'll give clarity with the start and end. So same side, left leg is forward, left hand plants, and I'm kind of looking for the handstand, but drawing this curving motion. So this hand is going to lead the direction of the rest of the shape, because if I turn my hand out here, where does my other hand have to go? It kind of has to come here. So it's going to curl me round, and as long as I commit to feeling okay with the chin tuck, it's probably going to turn into the GUMBI. So from here, I'm leaning out to the left, and I look for that falling handstand, and I let it roll. I'm really trying to let the rolling sensation show up. Whoa. See, I've got a dominant side and a non-dominant side. But there, committing. What can be really common with cues and things, something that kind of bugged me for a bit was like trying to go for it and then it closing. So just feel comfortable in the realm of knowing what your body's doing here. Because then we can translate it. Nothing changes. We keep everything. We keep the foundation the same. We look for that falling motion. Something that also causes a challenge for some people is we think of it as like a cartwheel variation, like an inverted cartwheel, like so. So what happens there? The legs stay split. But what I find keeps a little bit more control is the legs staying together. So even when you're having split position, things like that, you definitely, this is a rule to be broken, but it's a proposition for you to try. Try to keep the legs together in the fall and roll. So as I'm kicking up, legs come together, which just controls the shape just a little bit more. Bit clumsy there, I'm speeding through them. And what's really cool about this is people I've already shown this to, who I've been really excited about this, is as the feedback, especially even when I watch this back, right now it feels like I'm not even in an inversion. It feels like I'm just doing a frigging cartwheel. It barely feels like a back bend, and I just have to trust the fact that when I watch this back, there's going to be a back bend in there. It's going to be an arch. It feels so simple when it clicks that proprioceptively it might not even feel like you're actually doing the back bend. Instead of like coming up with all these like drills and cues, that's like starting your lunge and find your back bend and kick out and all of this. Like, it's not necessary, man. Not necessary. Just look for your falling sensation. Look for the chin tuck. Oh, I didn't let it roll. There, wow. I'm trying to leverage my cue and it's not even working. But yeah, let it roll. So as you come round, let it fall out of the shape. Whoa. Yeah, you get it. So barely feels like the back bend. That's kind of the point there. Own it. Maybe you just watch it back, imprint it in the body, watch it, be like, oh, it is the shape I'm trying to do. And then you can rest assured knowing that it doesn't have to be deeper, you don't have to figure out more of a back bend, anything like that. And then we can bring it back to like step 2, which was the random entry, so to speak, into it. And we can start to get a little bit more technical now. So instead of being like, right, I figured out a gumbi, now how do I do al transado, I think it's called, like an opposite leg, or maybe in tricking it's called like hyper entry and exit. We can now rest easy on the foundation of the roll, but play with the stance. Instead of it being same side, left foot and left hand leading, we can do right foot, left hand leading, look for the same shape, and then all of a sudden we have this variation. I'm not sure of the name. Please feel free to write in the comments if you know. Can play with variation like so. I try it on the non-dominant side. So left foot leading, right hand planting. Oh, I did an extra step with the. It's a bit scrappy, that one, but it's something to refine, to work on. All you're doing is looking for the falling handstand sensation. And then we can also, instead of landing on same foot, we can play with landing on the hyper twist. And it doesn't feel like much is different because the crux of it is the same feeling. Fall and roll. Fall and roll, baby. Let it roll, baby. Yeah. Boom. Oh, that was a bit scrappy there, but I think that's about it. And honestly, I can't overstate enough the importance of that falling and rolling. Fall and roll. And that's really just gonna piece together. So I'm really not satisfied with how I've been demonstrating this one, but we'll try again. So right foot planted, left hand, so contralateral entry and exit. Look for that falling handstand sensation. Things that to be fair, I might watch you back and be like, oh yeah, it's kind of it. Weaving it into a bit of a sequence. If you have space, it'd be a lovely one to try. Cartwheel, baby cartwheel. So we can go from flexed position, cartwheel, boom, into open position, GUMBI. And that's something to bring you into a little bit of a flow, to think less about the movement if you're really in your brain about it, and just letting one move connect into the other. So something really easy to achieve into the GUMBI. Again, different exits and entries, just trying to find the rolling sensation. From kneeling, try it on my poo side, just to show the discrepancy on each side. I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah, that's there's one that, here's an example of why I rent a move. I'm gonna actually do a little fancy thing. Here's an example of why I rent a move. I put it on my highlight reel, pretend like it's something that is like, yeah, it's like, oh, loads of likes. But something that it caught me off guard. And if I'm gonna be totally honest and confess here, it's something that I haven't really tried to do since this. Because it was a happy accident, and can I see if I haven't tried it since the epiphany of this falling sensation has shown for me in my GUMBI. So let's give it a go. It's the transado entry into helicoptero. First time, every time. Let's get it. No, and again. Oh, come on, baby. Trying to catch it with the split legs and let it whip down into helicopter. So kind of catching into the handstand again. There, and then as soon as I get there, into helicopter. Wasn't super nice, but I'm knackered. Let me leave it there. So yeah, love. This has been Movement Decoded. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope there's a few insights. And sorry for just going through. You could have turned this video off time ago. I was just kind of going through a little bit of my own process there, but yeah, just highlights the process and the way in which you can kind of like figure out some movements, and let me know how it feels for you. Love, guys. Peace out. Oh yeah, if you like the thing, like it. If you really like this video, subscribe to your boy. Leave comment, leave feedback, give requests. I'm happy to try and share information on flexibility, mobility, things that I've worked on, things that I feel like can really work and help. Different acrobatics, sequencing. If there's things you like already, then just let us know and we'll keep this co-created hub going. If you really liked it and want to offer your boy an extended form of gratitude, you can buy me some coffee, please. Just buy me 1 cup of coffee. 1 coffee. That's all it is. Just wouldn't if you just buy us 1 coffee, yeah. I'll leave the link downstairs. In abajo. Okay.